I don't know if you know my light situation, but it's all home-grown, hand-rolled, custom, free-range code. Handcrafted, the whole 9 yards. So it's code I wrote against different smart devices I have in my home. And it all runs in Kubernetes. Used to run in Docker. It runs in Kubernetes now. And so when I write my code, I build the code in my CI, and my containers get built, and they get pushed out to Kubernetes, and all was great until I changed everything, starting with VLANs, which sent a ripple through my whole entire network and the way I was doing things. And then after my last Kubernetes change, moving some of my public workloads to my colocation, was the next ripple that was felt throughout the galaxy. And so my lights haven't worked for a long time. So this morning I sat down and I said, you know what, I'm gonna fix my lights. I wrote a whole bunch of code, modified a whole bunch of firewall rules. And the nice thing is, instead of writing code against my own custom APIs that I built, and against, and also against third-party products like Philips Hue and Broadlink and stuff like that, I actually integrated it with Home Assistant, and now I'm using Home Assistant's REST API to make those calls. So it's pretty cool now. Now I have like a defined API where I can call, where I can say, like, for these Broadlink LED lights down there, I had to train it with a remote for about 20 minutes this morning, but I had to train the infrared with this remote, and then I could make an API call and say, hey, you know, this domain, remote send command, you know, and then a JSON object that was like, hey, LED panels turn blue, and got it mostly working. Except for I think the training's a little bit off for whatever reason. It has to do with Broadlink. So, anyways, I have the codes in code that I'm just gonna not even train it with and replace it with. Anyway, so I thought I'd have it all working, but not all working. This is about as good as it gets right now. So if anyone clicks anything, I have no idea what will happen. And if you refund, I'm sorry, if you use any of your channel points, I'll definitely refund them at the end. Anyways, long story short, lights next time, because after the stream, I'm going back at it. I'm not going to give up until it's done, because this has been in the back of my head for a long time, and I kind of feel bad you guys haven't been able to control the lights and stuff like that. And I've wanted to learn the Home Assistant API. You know, I'm using JavaScript, making API calls, and it's pretty cool. I'm going to do the same thing for my Philips Hue Hub. I'm not going to call the Philips Hue API. Going to call it from Home Assistant and do it that way, so I don't have to learn everyone's custom API. It's pretty cool stuff. If you're ever interested, I'll put some code samples up somewhere. Anyways, that aside, the other thing that I've been working on, last couple of weeks was, UDM Pro Max, and I totally get it. Woo, a lot of people were just like, a lot of people had a lot of opinions, which is awesome about the device, and I do too. And I'm glad that people said the things that they said, because that's a good litmus test to Ubiquiti to say, hey, maybe you should step it up, or what is what are these incremental upgrades? And I think a lot of people have a lot of expectations now for them, which is good. You guys are trying to hold them accountable. Hey, I bought these devices, and when you say there's a new device out, why is it a minor bump, a minor spank bump with a few extra, features? So, anyways, I try to be, I guess, as straightforward as possible, and really just kind of state the facts, and state a little bit of my opinions throughout there, and some things that they could fix. Anyways, I kind of understand what they're doing. I mean, I don't have the whole insider baseball with them, but I mean, definitely a spec bump. Definitely trying to get redundant hard drives for some of their customers. And a lot of people that were making the comments too aren't probably their target market too. So anytime you're appalled by something you see by them, most likely you're not their target market. So anyways, that aside, yeah, it's been fun to play with. It's been fun to play with, and on to the next. So anyways, like I said, if you have something you want to share, throw it in chat. Let's talk about it. There's a lot of things we're going to talk about already. I'm going to start from the top, work my way down. This is my one chance to get a drink, free one. So I'm going to get in while I can. So yeah, you guys saw my testing, all of my testing. Me asking what you guys are working on. City Hall, happy Saturday to you two. How's it going? Marcus Naw, trying to get this flippin' UCG Ultra to work properly. UCG, is that I thought it was UCS Ultra? I don't know, but I assume it's the Ultra Gateway. I actually had that device, but I didn't get to play with it. So you'll have to let me know what you're having issues with, because to me it just seems like, it's a gateway, has WAN plus a switch built in, and it can switch up to, it can do IDS, IPS, I think up to gigabit. I think an upgrade from the UGS, the original USG, the original USG, which I didn't even know was a product. I didn't even get involved with Unify or Ubiquity until later in the game. So anyways, yeah, let me know what you're working on. Yeah, I hope you figure it out. I'm sure you will. Limited to 400. Hopefully you get 1 gig up and down, because that's what they claim on their marketing specs. So that's what they claim. Hopefully you do. Brink GG 2404 Cube things. Hey, dude, thank you. Trevor, dude, how's it going? Thank you so much for the resub. Tier 1, 29 months. Let's go, Trevor. How's it going? We're gonna get some deep networking talking now. How's it going? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. But Brink says you're working on Kubi things, getting ready to move from Docker Swarm to Kubernetes to reflect what I'm using at work. Yeah, awesome. So that's cool that you're already using Kubernetes at work. So yeah, that gives you kind of, like an edge, I guess, over a lot of other people who haven't done it at all. So pretty cool. Yeah. So moving from Swarm to their 2404. You got this. Yeah, I haven't 2404. I'm assuming you mean Ubuntu. I haven't gone there yet. It's funny. I put this out on Twitter and I was like, hey, should I just YOLO? I put it out everywhere. Should I just YOLO the upgrade with Ubuntu 2204 to 2404 and just let it rip with Ansible? And I asked that same question 2 years ago with 2204. And I remember I forgot the same thing when I tried to do it that time too. It's that they don't have the upgrade path until the point release. So gotta wait to the point release to totally trash my whole entire environment. So anyways, I'm looking forward to it. I remember there was something weird with C groups or something with 2204. And I honestly think I had to rebuild a lot of my nodes. So this time I'll have better backups, better snapshots, better everything, and I'll do it lightly. I might, hit all the etcd nodes first, and then hit the workers and go from there, rather than everything all at once. But yeah, hope you figure it out. Sidit, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. DGD Gabodi, still programming as it was last time, but I'm slowly making progress. I really want to get back to the HL home lab, but for now I'm dependency hell. I need this program to finish to set up the home lab. Dude, I hear you, man. I'm there with you. I was programming all morning for my home lab to prepare for this live stream. So I hear you. You're in the. It sounds like you're in the same boat as me, where you like to program, but you also like to home lab and infrastructure, and you combine the two so you can run your own code in your own infrastructure. And now you have just like crazy dependencies. You know, if you didn't have enough dependencies and things going down in infrastructure, you got bugs in your code that make things not work right in your infrastructure. So yeah, I'm there. I hope you figure it out. Bloodblight, how's it going? If you haven't seen them before, check out ClickNuts from Chatsworth. They are like rack studs, but not metal. You know, I might have seen them. I don't know. I think Sysadmin After Dark on Twitter, I think he was using them, and he did a short video on it. So I've seen. Let me put it this way: I've seen metal like things for rack studs, and I don't know if that's the brand, but yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, it sounds good to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, like rack studs are good and they're awesome. But I'm a fan of metal. I'm a fan of metal over plastic, mainly because for a lot of reasons. but also metal looks nice. I don't know. I like shiny things. And I do have a lot of pack of rack studs, and don't get me wrong, they're phenomenal, especially when you need to move stuff around, or for things you don't need to move around ever. It's great to have. So, Obsidian Hall, Uwu Burnettis. Well, yeah, which is what they're naming Kubernetes 1.3. What's new in those release notes, and what do you think is awesome? I looked at the release notes. I to be honest, I couldn't even tell you what's in there. I couldn't even tell you what's in there. I couldn't get past the Uwu Burnettis part. I couldn't get past the Uwu Burnettis part. I mean, I don't know. I'm not even gonna make it up. I remember reading it. Remember seeing some things. I remember them promoting a lot of endpoints that were previously beta to now, GA, and that's about it. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Yeah, I should know. But I did see, it went GA, and you can get it now. I should be better at this, but I couldn't tell you what's in the release notes. Ooh, you should have tossed me. Should have gave me a softball. What do you think about this feature? No, anyways, I should know it. I'm definitely gonna get up on it and read up when I can. Let's see. Modest Tim, how's it going, man? Working on some Social Blade stuff this weekend. All right, no fresh talk. I had 2 appointments in the week, so I get to work on the weekend a bit to make up for it. Oh, I see what you mean. So you took some time off during the week, and you got to make up for it on the weekends. Yeah, that's part of developer life for sure. But that's definitely part of like contributor life in general. I won't go into it, but yeah, contributor, when you're like an individual contributor or anything like that, where you contribute stuff to some larger project, and they expect output from you. Yeah, you got to get stuff done, and you got to get caught up. But awesome, man. Good to see you. Bill, I've been playing about with a Coral TPU. What? Okay, this is totally random. I've been playing about with a Coral TPU. Wonder what you think of IBM's acquisition of HashiCorp. Boom. So 2 things. Coral TPU seems awesome. I wanted to get my hands on one a long time ago. Seems awesome. I would love to have it. I heard though that that's based on Google's what is Google's AI? Their older AI, Tensor, which I'm not even sure if they're using anymore. But that aside, it seems pretty cool. I have heard though that newer Intel chips, like the 13, can definitely outperform the newer Intel desktop chips on 13. The AI piece on there can outperform the Coral TPU, and it's not built on top of TensorFlow, which Google doesn't support anymore. Anyways, Coral TPU is still awesome because you can get it in a USB form factor and plug it in anything. So it's totally portable. A lot of use cases for it. So anyways, I was just brain dumping all of my thoughts about it. But then wonder what you think of IBM's acquisition of HashiCorp. Yeah, it's tough. IBM gobbles up everything. Let's just put it that way. IBM gobbles up everything. So they obviously, Red Hat is a subsidiary of them, and now they're acquiring HashiCorp. It seems like IBM's going after, enterprise Linux, obviously, but at the same time, still like their move to get HashiCorp seems like they want to continue with enterprise Linux automation. And what better way to do that is to own both of the 2 tools that people use to do it. So you got Ansible, and then you got HashiCorp, and who knows what's going to happen? It is pretty wild. It just feels weird. It feels weird, especially with the track record of HashiCorp changing their licenses to the business model. It just feels weird all around. I don't know. That's about all I can say. And the fact that I'll say this: it just feels weird when a large company buys up something that was open source, because it's just like, oh, hey, thanks, lots of people for all your contributions, but we don't need them anymore because we just got bought out. So I don't know. Feels weird. and on the other side, I totally get it. If you're running that company, and I mean, if you're running a company, you want to make money, and you hope you get acquired if you're a small startup. But HashiCorp grew into a large company themselves, and we're pretty, I assume, self-sustaining. So I don't know. Just feels weird all around. I haven't collected my thoughts on it. Gearling has a great video on it. I watched it all the way through. Mamend. Don't know if I should get more hardware to get into K8s or use cloud providers in the beginning. Yeah, good question. Good question. I will say that, so your question is, hey, I'd like to learn Kubernetes, but I don't know if I should get new hardware or just learn it in the cloud. I will say, if you can learn it in the cloud for free or next to free, go that way. I mean, then you're not spending any money. Then there's, zero cost to get started. There's no excuses. There's not a delay. You don't have to wait for parts to come in and build this thing to then finally learn something. So I will say, if you can learn it quicker, whatever the quicker path to, to learning something is, I would say go with. I will also say too, you can learn Kubernetes on your own with very little resources. I have an Ansible playbook that will spin it up for you. Of course, you need, a couple of machines. Those machines don't have to be physical though. They could be virtual machines. So if you already have one big all-in-one system that can do virtualization, you could test it on that. Then if you run out of other, if you don't have that hardware, you can always learn on the machine that you're on too, with like Minikube and MicroK8s. Like those Kubernetes instances can run on the machine, your development machine that you're working to still learn Kubernetes. So anyways, just giving you options. I know that it's always fun to get new hardware and plan stuff out for and give it rolls. But if it's something you want to jump into, I would say jump into it first, because then you might realize, hey, this isn't for me, and now I don't need to buy these 3 to 5 machines. Yeah, but it just depends. Depends what you want to know. Amends to learn it. Docker plus Lind is enough. Yeah, kind. There you go. Yeah. I mean that could get you on your way. For sure. Containers, it's good to know containers, how to, how to stand up containers, what they mean, how to shell into containers, get the logs from containers, because that's a lot of what Kubernetes is, at least when you're debugging. But then, you got to get your services, your load balancers, your pods, your deployments, all the different kinds of Kubernetes. I think is great to learn too. G'day. Hey Tim, can I ask if you use Proxmox API at all? Oh, any tips if you do? I'm trying to issue commands remotely. I don't use the Proxmox API, so I don't think I can give any advice. There are probably tutorials on how to do it. I would say if you do it, just be sure to get a token that maybe doesn't have God mode access, or maybe you do to start for Proxmox and then reel your way back. I would say least privileged. So anyways, my only advice is when you generate that token, use a least privileged token depending on what you need to do with it. There's my advice. But I haven't used the API. Trying to think if I have. If I've ever done a curl to it. No, I don't think I have. No. I was doing some Home Assistant API work this morning, but haven't needed anything from it, I guess. Not yet. I feel like I should, though. Hi, Lud. I use NixOS, by the way. Yeah. Oh, man, don't go there. Mr. Technician, so far, not so good with fiber. Every evening, my latency, Cloudflare, etc., jumps up to 8,800 milliseconds. It seems others with Quantum Fiber in the MSP area are also affected, and there is no resolution from Lumen yet. Yeah, interesting. So, I mean, we talked about this a few times, but, that time at night, I think you were saying between 8 and 9 or 8 and 10. I mean, that's rush hour for the internet, That is rush hour. That's when people kind of like tune out. Hey, I'm going to look at some stuff, or I'm going to keep streaming some stuff, or I'm going to, get on my phone and look up some stuff. So, yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I would agree congestion, which is odd on fiber. So it sounds like you have some shared link on your block or something, that you don't have a direct line or something like that. That stinks. You should go after them. Uh, Obsidian Hall, it must be in the NixOS handbook when you use NixOS to tell everyone you use NixOS. Yeah, for sure. Just like Arch, kind of, sort of, for sure. Yeah, page 1, tell everyone you use it. Page 2, use it. Budney, need to install my replacement SFF 8087 to 4X SAS cable. Have a trip light UPS coming Tuesday. All right, power has been a bit sus in my new place. Hey, I hear you. I hear you. So pretty cool. So 2 things you need to do is replace your SFF 8087, so your SAS expander cable, it looks like. And then you have UPS coming because your power sus. Hey, my power sus. You know what I woke up to this morning? This UPS back here just beeping. No idea. Just beeping. Solid beep too. It still had power. I had no idea what was going on. I got up. It was like, I don't know, 6:30. Pressed the button, then went and laid back down. But yeah, my powers here is weird too. Weird stuff. I wouldn't even go into my power. Like, yeah. That smart switch right now. Yeah, I won't even go. But that smart switch right now that's in here, it doesn't even work anymore, and it's always on. No matter what the LED says, it's always on. So I just have to like control it with another remote control. Anyways, yeah, I got weird stuff going on too. You're not alone. You're not alone. I think a lot of people, when they do wiring jobs, they do it themselves, and they may or may not do it right. You know, depending on the person that lived there before in your house. And I think they think just because it's in the wall, you know, no one will ever know. Well, you find out sometime. It's like you passed an IQ test. Yeah, for sure. It is. Let's see. Yakto, hey, how's it going? Getting ready to move my colo customers to a nice, new, deep and wide trip light 42U rack. Getting everything planned in NetBox. Awesome. That is awesome. So YWS updates. Here we go. YWS. He's moving all of his customers into a new 42U rack as if he didn't have enough racks already. How many racks do you have? This is like 5. I think this is 5. Last time I counted. But pretty awesome. I also need to check out NetBox. I hear a lot about NetBox. I need to hear. I need to check it out some more. I do. Good to see you. Nerpius, hi. How's it going? Bill, how's it going? Redeeming some stuff that's not working. Let's see. Obsidian Hall. What are you using for external secrets? How's that working for you and Kate's? Oh yeah. Drink real quick. So for me, so my home Kubernetes cluster, or the Kubernetes clusters that myself, as a person manages, not my business, not the company I work for. I manage all of my secrets with SOPs and Age, so Mozilla SOPs. So I don't use a vault. Maybe I should at some point. I think we talked about this a little bit ago. But I don't use a vault. I didn't know if that was overkill or what, and I saw how simple SOPs was, and I liked the simplicity of SOPs. And so if you're not familiar with SOPs, it's like it's a tool to help you encrypt stuff with Age. And what it allows me to do is commit my secrets directly into my code, where they are encrypted at rest, and then once they get pushed up, they get decrypted in my cluster. So anyways, it sounds kind of weird, but that's what I'm using. SOPs and Age. Not using a vault. Maybe I should at some point. Maybe I should. Let me see. There's weird stuff going on. Give me 1 second. I think I'm kind of lagging or not lagging or speeding up, speeding down. I don't know. I see it. Let's see. It's the new Arch. It totally is. That's what I was saying too. It is the new Arch. Howdy, how's it going? Good day. Is there any good way to monitor TrueNAS health? Kinda. So you can use, depends on what you're considering health. But you can use Prometheus, and Grafana to do it. You could do it that way. Also, NetData is one that I see a lot of people use because it's kind of easy to use. And depending on, if you want to use the cloud piece or not, you can if you want. But I think Prometheus, Grafana, you can. And also NetData. Those are the ones that I've seen that people use. But again, like NetData, it's open source and you can use it. But to like aggregate all of your machines that are using NetData, you have to use their cloud product. So, but if you're not going to use their cloud product, you can actually get to that data right on that machine though too. So, anyways, I think that's what people use. To be honest, I don't use anything other than alerts. You know, I have alerts set up, and one of my disks fails, or the last CFS scrub had an error, or you name it, I get an alert. So, but then again, you know, who's letting me know? Like, who's watching the watcher? I think I have a fix for that coming up. But who's watching the watcher? You know, if TrueNAS totally goes down, it can't tell me it's down because it's down. So you got to have someone that is also watching that, and then maybe someone who's outside of your environment watching all of that. So yeah, good questions. Good questions. It's fun to think about that stuff, and like, how deep do you go? Like, how many how many watchers do you have, or how many monitors do you have? Juan Wonton. First time chatter, long time watcher. Hey, how's it going? I like it. Good to see you. I like that logo too. It's kind of it reminds me of the North. Yeah, got some evergreens and a river and stuff like that. Hey, good to see you. I like it. Jenna Ryan. Sorry, my mustache is like out of control. I'm totally letting it go. My wife's again probably like, what is going on with him? Anyways, Jenna Ryan setting up a new OpenSense, OPN Sense HA pair. Ah, nice. On a pair of Protectly VP6650s for low noise installs for a client. That is awesome. So cool. So you're using Protectly, two Protectly devices, which are, fanless, low power, low noise devices, and you're creating an HA pair of OpenSense. That is cool. That is cool for sure. Yeah, I've been, I kind of get the itch sometimes to do something like that because it sounds awesome. Be able to have, failover, firewall gateways like that, and to get to actually play with some of the stuff that goes on in OpenSense. So you guys are making me think about stuff. But that sounds awesome, Jenna Ryan. I hope it works out. I'd love to pick your brain sometime, or maybe I'll start Googling about HA and how to set it up. Wondering what it looks like upstream. If you need two IPs, one IP, or you just split the connection from your ISP with a dumb switch. Yeah, not sure. Fenris Games. Hey, Techno Team, how's it going, bro? Hey, it's good, Fenris. Doing pretty good. Can't complain. I could complain, but I'm not going to complain. How about that? We could all complain about stuff, but it's going good. Anerpius started building out a new PC this week. We got everything but a GPU in there, and it's installed Arch. Speaking of, with Hyperland using an install script I made. Awesome. So new PC, everything but a GPU in there, and you installed Arch, and you with Hyperland, and did it with an install script. That is awesome. That sounds fun. Sounds fun to be able to tinker with that stuff. I wish I had more time. I would love to install like Arch, see what it's all about. NixOS. I wish I just had a little bit more time to just tinker a little bit more. We'll see. Maybe coming up. Blade, happy Saturday. How's it going, man? Brink, I usually set up a node exporter, to Prometheus and pull alerts, like something like that for Grafana. Brink, yeah, exactly. Brink knows what's up. I think a lot of you do too. But that's going back to, I believe, the TrueNAS comment on, hey, how do I monitor this thing? And Brink's saying, I usually set up a node exporter so it can export those metrics to Prometheus so it can scrape those metrics and then put an alert when those metrics either pass a certain threshold or stop appearing altogether with Grafana. So yeah, absolutely. And 2-for-1, you get your alerting and then you'll get your data visualization too. So yep, absolutely. Mamens, thanks for the idea. I'm not a total beginner in Kate's, but never got a real prod stuff running with it. Minikube, for my interview for getting the into the basics. Yeah. That's exactly what I was saying. I was like, oh yeah, maybe try Minikube and stuff like that. And you're like, already tried it. I would still if you're going down that path, I would still say virtualize it first. Because if you have a machine where you can at least run 3 virtual machines, technically you could do it with 2. You just do a single node K3S that runs, etcd and control plane, and then 1 worker. You could totally learn Kubernetes like that. Absolutely. If you still wanted, dedicated machines. Yeah, for sure. Marcus, would there be any reason why the UCG Ultra would limit the speeds to about 200 megabits per second to different VLANs and the internet? Yes. Well, so you're basically saying, hey, why am I getting low speeds to different VLANs, even with IDS and IPS turned off. Funny, because I tested all this. If I tested all of this on that machine back there, the UDM Pro Max, I tested it all. I wanted to isolate a few things, and you're saying, hey, when I'm crossing VLANs, I'm getting slower speeds. Why is that? IDS and IPS is turned off. Well, inter VLAN routing still takes compute. So inter VLAN routing takes some compute, and then I knew that, but I never measured it, and I measured it on that thing. So yeah, that's it right there. I mean, if you're doing IDS, IPS, it's going to use some compute to inspect those packets. And then if you're doing inter VLAN routing from one VLAN to another, it's going to take some compute. And then and then obviously your firewall, if you're coming in through the firewall and doing using the application firewall, that's going to take some too. So anyways, it's a lot of people don't talk about performance on inter VLAN routing. Like you would think like, hey, I should get line speed. I should get the exact line speed, but it's not usually that way unless you have a really, really good switch to do it. I wouldn't even say a really, really good switch. I would say like if your firewall is not doing it, because they're busy doing other things, and they're usually a little bit, mostly underpowered compared to switching. So, anyways, that's probably what it is. Yep, I exactly that. Happy Saturday. Good to see you. Frank Burr 12. I'm working on a new blank. It's for my smart home control. Interesting display. Interesting display with MQTT control. So you're working on something new. Awesome. And it's for your smart home control. That is awesome. I don't know what it is, but it's an interesting display with MQTT. Awesome. Sounds awesome. Smart home. No, I got you. But so you're playing with some device. Awesome. That is awesome. I've been doing a lot of home assistant stuff this morning too. Big hit. Hey, how's it going? Finally caught the stream. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Found you from YouTube. Hey, I'm so glad you made it all the way over from YouTube to here. So I appreciate it. Thanks. Thank you so much. Let's see. RyMiFi. Are you going to update traffic? Are you going to update traffic plus cert plus Pi-hole videos? Do you run Pi-hole as native on VM or Pi? Yeah, great questions. Am I going to update it? I think so. I mean, spoiler alert, there aren't a lot of changes in 3, at least for most people's use case, especially for Docker. 0 change, which is good, but you usually don't hear about a major version not having any breaking changes. I think there are a couple. Anyways, all that aside, it's not out yet. So I think I will. I think there's an appetite for it. I might. And then in Kubernetes, there are a few breaking changes. I might. But the traffic and so you're saying, sorry. I thought you were saying cert manager. Then there you're just saying certificate. So I'm meaning, I know you mean Docker. So anyways, so yes, at some point I do. It's definitely in my backlog at some point. Even though that video will still be relevant until they release a new version, I might refresh it. We'll see. I don't know. That video has like over 500,000 views, so it's kind of like why cannibalize my own video? You know what I mean? But we'll see. Because I think a lot of people have found a lot of value out of it, and with any the next version of traffic, it doesn't change. So. Anyways, and then do you run Pi-hole as a native on VM/Pi? Do I run Pi-hole as native? I think what you're asking is, hey, how do you run Pi-hole? I think that's a better question to say, hey, are you running as a VM? You're running a container? You run it bare metal? I run it as a standalone VM. I have 2 that are VMs, and I have 1 that is Raspberry Pi Zero, and that's kind of my fallback if the other 2 are down. But I used to run in container, and then that worked fine. That worked great. But then if you're doing the all-in-one Docker stack, it kind of gets weird sometimes to like send everyone and everywhere to that one stack, that one IP. And also, a lot of times I need DNS to stand up services. So when I started moving to Kubernetes stuff, that's when I moved it out of container, made it a standalone VM, because I needed DNS to be up no matter what, and I couldn't put it inside of my containerization platform because I need it before that, as far as like bootstrapping it goes. So, anyways, yeah, good, great questions, great questions. Let's see, Towley, Marcus Naw, is that iPerf speeds or the speed? Yeah, transfers. Yeah, it's a great question too. Great question. Mine were all iPerf. Ferris, talking of code, learning Python for my work, but having trouble finding anything to do for practice. Any ideas, advice where you go? Because all is well and good to know what a Lambda function is, but I'm pretty useless if you can't use it. Yeah, I think this comes up a lot. It's like, hey, I want to learn a language. What can I do with it? Like, I've done, the simple hello world stuff, and maybe you've done the whole to-do app. I think the to-do app is the step after the hello world app. But if you haven't done a to-do app, do that. I mean, every single language has like some kind of to-do app, right? That's going to walk you through creating a to-do list and adding and removing items to it. But maybe not on Python. On Python, it would just be the back end, but maybe they'll show you both, the front end too. But then, something that I always do is something that I still do today is I pair up, a language or something I want to learn with something I like to do. And that is always the way to go for me. Something I want to learn with something I like to do. And for me, and when I started doing more and more JavaScript, I wanted to create bots for different platforms, Discord bots, stuff like that. And so I created a ton of bots for different platforms because there were things I wanted to do with that I thought were fun. I knew a lot of JavaScript before that, but it's just an example. So if you're into whatever, you're into sports, you're into gaming, you're into news, I don't know, whatever you're into, try building a little app that will do something with that. If you're into HomeLab, or anything, try to build something that you're kind of excited about. Some domain that you like. I would say you're excited about. Rather than maybe to-do's too boring and that domain's pretty boring. Task list. But maybe have I don't know, something fun. Games. I would say games, technology, news, sports, something you got to be interested in. And build something that can possibly interact with that. That's what I think. It's always I don't know. For me, it's always fun when you pair it with something you want to do. Marcus, no transfer speeds. iPerf speed. I try the restart, reset, UI support. It's yeah. I'm just saying that like inter VLAN routing is a thing, and it's gonna take some processing power to do that. Like you don't get it for free. You don't get it for free like you do on the same VLAN or for just switching, right? If it has to go inter VLAN, it has to go back through the gateway. In your case, it's an all-in-one, but it has to go back through there, through the firewall. Broad links are tricky to use. Jay Sizzle, yeah, tell me about it. Right now, I program that thing with red, blue. Hey, dude, thank you. Obsidian Hall, dude, thanks for the bits. Appreciate it, dude. For learning through personal interest. Exploration, yeah, I totally agree. It's hard for me to give an example to everyone about everything, but there are a lot of things I'm interested in outside of HomeLab. Like I'm totally interested in space weather, and to be honest, that's how I got started in programming in general. Is I built an app called Space Weather, and I built a mobile app because nothing exists out there like it. And that night. The inspiration for that was actually seeing an aurora borealis in the north. And so that inspired me to figure out how to program to build an app. So it's, there are things like that where, you can get like big ideas, but it's also, they can be little ideas too. Like, hey, you want to do something in Python? Do you use Home Assistant? Maybe. Okay, here's an easy one. Like I did this morning, I wrote in a Node.js client or an API call against Home Assistant. If you run Home Assistant at home and you could turn the light on with Home Assistant, try it with Python. Write a little Python client to call into the Home Assistant API, toggle that switch on and off. Those are fun things, and those are really fun things because you can test them really quick. And it's usually the light right there, and that's what I was doing all morning. As soon as I saw my blue lights turn on, I was like, yes, I got it. anyways, if you need help with the Home Assistant API and stuff like that, and what those signatures look like, I can definitely send some knowledge your way, because they didn't document their API that great. I mean, they don't have a Swagger spec, which would be awesome if they did. But they got a lot going on anyway. So anyways, not knocking them. But yeah, totally check it out. I think Home Assistant building a little tiny Python client to do some stuff for you would be fun. Anyways, let's go back into this. JSizzle, Broadlinks, yeah, they're tricky to use. They are. So I'm having this weird thing where, like, I don't know if it's Home Assistant or it's a Broadlink device. Who knows? But I didn't have this problem before I connected it to Home Assistant, where it's not like remembering the commands. Like when I say on and off, and then program it to red and blue and green, like for some reason it forgets about green and forgets about blue. So I don't know. Got to figure that out. They are tricky to use. I feel like I should buy something better, but I've had these forever and they just keep working. So yeah. Blade, did you YOLO your 2404 update? I didn't. I talked about this a little bit earlier, but I remembered that they don't allow you to upgrade with due release upgrade until the point release comes out. You could still do it. There's like some weird command you can pass to it. That just doesn't feel right. So I am gonna wait for the point release, and then I'll. I don't know if this is called a YOLO, but I will YOLO certain roles at a time. How about that? Take lots of snapshots and backups. This is totally not YOLO. But I am. But what I'm gonna do is snapshots, backups, and then I'll target roles at a time. Like, hey, like I talked about earlier, my Pi-hole machines. Yeah, just go for it. Just go. Do all 5 right now, And then I'll say, okay, well, DNS kind of worked, and then I'll work my way in all the way down to, different Kubernetes servers and different stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I probably have like 30 Ubuntu servers, so it's, not a few. So things can go really wrong, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Bill Marin, did dark mode work? It was working for me this morning, but I'll have it. I'll have it fixed. Trust me. That's what I'm going after right after this. I'm writing some more. Well, probably, do a couple other things like real life stuff, but that's my next thing to tackle. This is how I procrastinate on YouTube videos, because I'm like, yeah, this is how I procrastinate, because I find things I need to work on. I'm like, yeah, it's related to YouTube. Sip Quick, there you go. I'll do it. I finally got to that comment. Yeah, let's see. Towley, I always call Ubiquiti the Apple of networking, just like the iPhone. Yeah, pretty device with only a few improvements per update. Yeah, no, I totally get it. I mean, that's kind of what they were going for. I think their CEO used to work at Apple and wanted to expand. I think he worked on the Apple home router thing and wanted to expand that further. Apple said no, and he said, well, I'll create a business myself then, and here we are today. I think that's the lowdown on how that went down. Probably not exactly like that, but pretty close. But yeah. I wish it was 1 gig. Oh, we're going back into their 400. Let's see. Trevor, yo, Tim, I'm getting a new storage appliance built out. The Nimble CS500 with 16 gigabits fiber channel. That's going in the home lab. You are always getting like these monstrous Cisco devices that I've never heard of. 2, I have no idea what they do. But 3, they probably cost a lot of money. So, ooh. That's awesome. You have to let me know what it does. I have no idea what it does. Let's see. Big hit. Tim, I'm about to build out my mom and dad's home network. All right, man. I'm here for it. We just have 2 Asus AIO routers, but I want to put in a cloud key, a UniFi 16-port switch, patch panel with couplers. Trying to decide on a gateway, though, because originally we were going to go with the TP-Link gear. Yeah, I mean, that's tough. I mean, it kind of depends. Like it depends on, there's a couple things. Well, one, it depends on like how active are your parents on the internet? I mean, do they have like gigabit there, or they got, 50, 60, 100 megabit, and, it doesn't, they don't use it all that much besides streaming. I think that kind of plays into there a little bit. And then it depends on how you want to manage it too, right? If you're already getting Ubiquiti switches and probably APs, yeah, I don't know. I haven't tried a lot of the TP-Link Amada stuff. It seems pretty good. Seems pretty budget friendly too. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. But you're already getting the cloud key and a switch. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you're gonna rack mount, there are there are a few options. I mean, I think like the UDM Pro at your parents' house would be way overkill, but also way awesome. Then you wouldn't have to buy the cloud key, because UDM Pro comes with the cloud key built in. It's the network. So, yeah, I don't know. I have I know what I would do, and I know what I did for my dad. But he's just like, he doesn't use the internet all that much. I just put in one of the Unify Expresses, and that gets him connected on his PC and his phone. It's an all-in-one. And only has 100 megabit down, so it's like perfect for him. Sounds like your parents are gonna get pretty hooked up, though. Pretty hooked up. You'll have to let me know what you choose. In my head, if I was rack mounting and I was saying I'm getting a Unify switch and a cloud key, I'd probably just say, you know what, I'm just going to get a UDM Pro. Don't buy the cloud key. Put it in the same rack as the switch and call it a day. But that's me. That's me. But I don't want to sway your opinion because there are a lot of good options out there too. And, TP-Link is also a really good option too. Trevor, once the new Nimble is all set up, all of my VMs are going to it after beating the crap out of the drives. Yeah, you got crazy enterprise stuff going on all the time. A big hit. We use a lot of Ubiquiti gear at work, so I figured it'd be good networking practice for me to get Ubiquiti gear instead of TP-Link. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with it too. Especially if once you say cloud key, I'm like, okay, you want to be in the ecosystem. I get it. You need, cloud key for the network application to manage your devices. You're like one step away from just getting a UDM Pro or getting any. I guess I would say all the unified gateways would work in this scenario for home, absolutely. But you'll be limited by IDS and IPS depending on the download speed. So, but yeah, that's kind of where I was too. Brink, yep, the downloads were a bit slow today, but it seems stable so far. Only issue I've hit is people forgetting new PGP import style now. Oh, I see what you mean. So you've been upgrading. I see what you mean. Yeah, so you've been upgrading to the 2404. Obviously slow because a lot of people are right now, or at least pulling it down to play with it. And then, yeah, the new PGP import style, which I think is like nested under folders or something. I can't remember. I'd have to look again. But good to know. Yeah, I'll let you beta test that for me. Gabodi, I'd suggest you taking a look around and see what you figure out. I suggest taking a look around and figure out what kind of tool would benefit your everyday life. Then try to code it. Maybe not the best. I'm going through that right now, but it will provide practice. So going back to hey, I want to learn Python. What the heck should I do with it? I totally agree. Build a tool that will help in your everyday life or something that you're, super interested in. And I think it'll be way more rewarding. And plus, you'll get the satisfaction of not only learning to do that thing, but the satisfaction of knowing you accomplished something that you were curious about anyways. To-do app is, that's great for labs, for group learning, but personal stuff is always great for learning on your own. Blast deployment to the etcd first is courageous. Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like those need to work. Workers I could rebuild. So yeah, that's kind of what I was going. Upgrade etcd, my etcd nodes if I do it. And then, everything, if those fail, then I'm like, okay, I can back off. I'd rather know those had a problem first than last, but yeah. It's funny because, I say YOLO, but I have backups for everything. I have snapshots for everything. Like I could restore anything, I could restore almost my whole entire, my whole network pretty much. I could restore, probably within an hour just because of how long backups would take to restore. But yeah, YOLO, right? Fenris, yeah, the stuff I need is pretty niche, but seeing as I'm you're not the only one. Seeing as that I'm linguistically challenged from England, but struggle with English, it can be a pain. Thanks for the advice, brother. Hey, no problem at all. I'm linguistically challenged too, for sure. Jay Sizzle, Tom Lawrence show, something like that a while back. I'm getting off guard. I mean, I'm getting off track. I don't know what it is. Normal cage nut master race. Yeah. Oh, maybe it's the cage nut stuff, the meta ones. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, managers at work hate cage nuts. Yeah, I could see. I could see. I've gotten pretty good with the cage nuts now. I've only sliced my finger up out of my all the racking I've done everywhere. I've only sliced my finger I think once or twice throughout that whole thing. But yeah, I've gotten pretty good at it. I kind of like metal though too. Kind of like metal though too. I don't know. I don't know. But don't get me wrong. I mean that thing, my mini rack right here for my all of my workstations in my studio here is all cage nuts because it's fun. Obsidian Hall, when are you upgrading Kubernetes? Ooh, I stick to the stable release, I think. I stick to the stable, pretty stable. I'm on 128 now. So I'm not even on 129. Yeah, I think so. I stay pretty stable in my stuff. I mean, maybe my home stuff I'll go. Like my home stuff, yeah, that shouldn't stop me from going. But I guess two of my three clusters I stay pretty stable. So yeah, I don't know. I just I don't. I want to give the developers who develop Helm charts and everything else enough time to figure stuff out. Because just because like why go through that if it's not even ready? So yeah, I wish I had a like an upgrade readiness check. I know that there are those out there, but I know like GCP has one and stuff like that. It can scan your cluster and see if like, hey, you want to upgrade to whatever 130. It'll go through and look through all your resources and see if they're using things that are deprecated. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. But it's hard. It's hard when it comes to like CRDs and stuff like that. Where it would have no idea that whatever traffic, moved off alpha 1 and now they're on beta 1, for some endpoint. That's where it gets tough. And that's where you just, you gotta test in production and roll back. Oh, Munzie, yes, I'm live. How's it going? I'm still rocking Kubernetes 1.26. All right, my man. He's at the edge of deprecated. Hey, that was me too. And I didn't mind it. Mainly because a lot of production clusters out there, like in the wild, are pretty far behind too. Pretty far behind. Updating Kubernetes is usually a pretty big event for a lot of people. Place I worked, we actually let Google upgrade it for us. Kind of wild, but we did. But we made sure all of our services were HA enough to where we ran enough replicas and did enough retries. And got our load balancers just right so they could take them out of the load balancer for the pod to where we got to the point where we could take any node, any service, anything down at any time and it would still be fine. So then we said, let's just do automatic upgrades for Kubernetes. It worked out until it didn't. So yeah, basically VMware Tanzu. Yeah. So again, like I have some stuff that's like Rancher. Rancher is dependent on a certain version of Kubernetes. And sometimes if you're in one of those ecosystems, you got to take what you can get, for sure. Yep, for sure. Absolutely. For sure. Denabime, how's it going? For whatever it's worth, I've got my cluster up and running and running AWX. That's awesome. This was my gate stopping me to do stuff. Awesome. So I think last week you were trying to get K3S and stuff going. I assuming you got it going. And then you got AWX then running in there. And then that was your gate that was stopping you from doing other stuff. I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. Because it's like, okay, well, as soon as I get AWX up, I can run all of this automation. But, until then, I can't run any of that. So pretty awesome. Awesome. I'm glad you got AWX going. That's feather in your cap because I hear it's pretty hard. You should do it sometime. About IBM, they have owned Red Hat for a while. They are still pretty supporting. They are still supporting the open source. Sorry, my eyes. They are still supporting open source pretty well. Yeah, for sure. Yep, IBM. Gabodi, I'm not an expert, but you may want to look into trying to learn another language. I think I read somewhere that people can handle some other languages way better than others, even if those languages they struggle with isn't their primary language. Yeah. I studied other languages too. I don't know if we're talking about programming languages or speak languages, linguistics, but I did both. How about that? Those are two statements that didn't exactly go together. I think you're talking about the IBM and IBM and open source and community stuff. I'm assuming. Sup Tim, first time to the live. Hey, Vanberry, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Trevor, I'm currently low-level formatting some HPE 3-part drives to 512 byte sectors from 520 byte sectors to slap them in the Nimble CS500. Ooh. That is some work. I don't even know what the Nimble is, man. I got to get caught up. Coral is around 4. Oh, so going to this. All right. So Coral is around 4 teraflops or tops or whatever. And some of the new Intel CPUs, also Snapdragon Elites, are coming out are greater than 40 tops, so they can meet Microsoft's AI PC requirement. Oh, good point. I didn't even think about that. About their built-in AI button and their built-in AI. But yeah. I mean, I'm not knocking Coral, like it's awesome, but yeah, it's it's great for what it does, and it's low cost, and it can it can do a lot in a small package. I just heard that, like, hey, it was based on Google's TensorFlow, which Google doesn't even use anymore. So, but still get a ton of use out of it. And it's awesome that it's USB and you can plug it into anything. Tokens per second. Thank you, Brinks. I was like, tops? What is tops? Tops. At the rate of 4 drives per day, already got 2 drives done. Only 4. Oh, I guess, depending on how many you can do concurrently. Yeah. Generally, open source projects are started by the people, not always companies, so they always can be forked. Denabime, yeah, good point. Yep, and here we go. Open Tofu, yeah, and Open Bao seem to be the forks with traction. Yeah, for sure. Open Tofu, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I'm always curious, like, how is this going to go for Open Tofu? I get it that they forked it, and it's 100% Terraform compliant now. I just wonder, like, what the future is like, and what about all of the services that you ran with Terraform? Like if you're using Terraform Cloud and stuff. I don't know. I'm excited to see. Because I got a ton of Terraform stuff, and now it's like, do I just switch to Open Tofu? But I've been looking at the roadmap, and they keep it pretty well up to date. Well, a few bullet points out. Bill Mayer, I'm with Jeff Geerling on his take on open source in the corporate space. I think he nailed it. Yeah, I agree too. Basically, like, hey, corporate greed. Corporate greed has killed corporate open source. That's a hard one to do. Dargon Genesis. I'm messing this one up. I'm considering nesting 2 servers inside of Proxmox for a home playground. TrueNAS Scale and Unraid. Ooh. I have concerns about 2 servers dividing the limited bandwidth within the Proxmox environment. So, Dargonexus. I'll put it this way. So if you're gonna nest, how do I even start? Proxmox can handle anything with the right resources. As soon as you start talking about, like, nested virtualization, if you're gonna do that, I really wouldn't ever do nested virtualization unless it's just for testing, for exploring, because the performance is so like subpar for nested virtualization. At least in my experience, it's like 10x slower than doing it within a virtual machine. And so you have that. I don't know if that's what you're trying to do. I don't know if you're just exploring it, but keep that in mind. Nested virtualization. What does that mean? It's like, hey, I'm going to run a hypervisor inside of a hypervisor. And what does that mean in your situation? That would mean you're going to run virtual machines also inside of Unraid and maybe virtual machines inside of TrueNAS. Don't do that. I'm just going to say, don't do that, because you will be so sad about the performance. But everything else should be pretty fine. Because the other thing is, if you're not going to do that, then it's like, okay, well, you got containers and you got storage. Should be fine. The limited bandwidth, though, I don't know what you mean. So I mean, you probably have a gigabit port to there, and I don't know what you're doing with both of those systems. One's probably going to be your NAS, and one's going to be maybe to run your containers. Not sure. But if you can get more than 1 gig, totally do it. But again, like if it's communicating with each other inside of there, I mean, they have virtual 10 gigs, so pretty fast. And should be fine if they're communicating with each other. It's once you get outside of there, onto a physical network where, yeah, it could be a bottleneck. I don't know, a lot going on in there. I'm interested. If you can't tell, my interest is peaked in what you got going on in there, because it sounds like you're gonna learn a lot. But yeah, also curious, why both? And you'll probably say, why not both? Let's see. Modest Tim, if you have a specific question asked in the Discord with a bunch of people, get day. I missed that. I don't know what that was, but basically, like, hey, if you have a specific question, I totally jump in our Discord. Smells like congestion. I was thinking that too. Let's see. Okay, I am overtime. I don't even know how it's overtime, but it is overtime. So it was about Proxmox API. Thank you. Good call, Tim. He's right there. He's right there with me. Thank you. So it was about the Proxmox API. Hey, do you use it? Rather than a specific question. Yeah, toss it in Discord. All right, I'm gonna find one. Robot says no. What do we do? Robot, I gotta click on this. I did my network wall cabinets. Oh yeah, as well as the home lab. Oh, this is going back to. All right, I'm just clicking on random stuff. I'm gonna definitely grab a question from someone, maybe one of these last ones. This looks like it's mentioning me and looks like a long one. I'm just gonna click on it. Oh, big hit again. Okay. Thank you for the advice. Yeah, my dad is a retired sysadmin. All right. And we have 1 gigabit speeds right now. All right. My kind of dad. He wants to upgrade and stuff. So we've been looking at some more professional consumer grade gear. That is awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. That is awesome. That's all I can say. That is awesome. So your dad knows what's going on, and you're just trying to show him some new stuff. That is cool. Yeah, I mean, between you and him, you guys will definitely figure it out. If you're interested in like the throughput, like how fast can a UDM Pro really like how fast is its its IDS, IPS, is that firewall? I did testing on this UniFi Dream Machine Pro Max. Very similar, just a little bit faster. But if you're curious about like what speeds you can expect with all of the things, all of the security stuff turned on, you should totally check that out, that video. But yeah. Anyways, wow. Thank you all for coming in, for joining me on this Saturday. It's pretty awesome. I want to say thanks real quick for, there was bits, there was follows, there was subs, there was resubs. Thank you all so much for them. I really appreciate it. And Terminator Retro, thanks for follow. Appreciate it. I missed that one. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you have something you want to talk about or a specific question you want to ask, or you just want to continue talking about stuff Home Lab because this is the one time you get to talk about it, hey, you can talk about it anytime you want. We have a Discord server full of lots of people. We have around 10,000 people on our server. Lots of people, very helpful. Lots of topics, lots of channels. So if you want to continue this there, we absolutely can. If I skipped your comment, I do apologize. I was just trying to get to the end of them as quick as I could and trying to see if someone was actually mentioning me. So I do apologize if I skipped yours. If I skipped yours and you still want to like ping me and ask me something, absolutely. Ping me in Discord or Twitter or wherever you are, and I'll try to answer your question for sure. Other than that, thank you so much. Again, thanks for bits, follows, subs. Appreciate it. I will be back here on Twitch next week and Saturday, and this will be out on YouTube tomorrow, and I should have something on YouTube for you this week. So hey, have a great rest of the day. Happy Saturday, and be good to each other. Take care, folks.